Love and Mercy is a new film directed by Bill Pohlad, starring John Cusack, Paul Dano, Elizabeth Banks, and Paul Giamatti. And it's essentially about the life story of the lead singer of the super famous 60s pop band, the Beach Boys. And the film basically transitions back and forth from Brian Wilson's life in the 60s to his life in the 80s as a confused and broken man under a 24-hour surveillance watch by his doctor, Eugene Levy, played by Paul Giamatti. So, Barnaby, what did you think of Love and Mercy?
Well, first of all, I think it was very well acted. It had a good
definitely.
framing device between the 60s and 80s, how it sort of shifted naturally.
Yeah.
And how the scenes sort of related to each other. My only problem about the film is that I wouldn't call it dull, but there was nothing about the film that really caught me.
See, that's the exact same thing, sort of. I thought this was, in terms of like acting and emotion, I thought this was excellent. Like, it was incredibly depressing. It was incredibly painful to watch. Like, some scenes, it was just very well, it was really tight. This film concentrated specifically on just the life of Brian Wilson and his internal struggles. Whereas the only thing that I didn't like, the main thing I didn't like about this movie, is that it didn't really have any specific like mood that made the film stand out.
I think
Do you see what I mean?
it had a mood. It didn't have a clear focus.
It was not a specific one. I think
Sort of
for me.
Down and depressing mood.
Like,
It sort
that's
of had
it.
that,
Like, yeah.
but then it didn't really have anything really catching about it. I mean, it had the good framing device, but like even the LSD scene was kind of like muted.
There were a couple of scenes that were really well shot to show the internal struggles.
I think again there was only two scenes that were really effective in showing what he was going through.
Which scenes are you talking about?
There is a dinner scene where the use of sound,
Yes.
use of sound is used well, but in the dinner scene,
It's not original, but it's still good.
Well, I think the dinner scene was pretty original. I mean, the overlap.
I've seen that before. There was one with the headphones where
that's been done to death, I think.
Well,
I think
it's a good scene.
It's a good scene, but that
in terms of sound editing, and the film is really powerful. It's got a powerful story, but just the story was mainly just the life of Brian Wilson. It didn't have anything original, for example, and it didn't have really a specific mood that made the film complete. I felt
the best scenes of the film were in the 60s when he's making his masterpiece.
Yes,
those are the best scenes of the film.
How he's directing his musicians and everything. Those scenes were really interesting, really well made.
And other scenes, it's just like stereotypical crazy person. Like a scene where he's in the pool with his brothers and the other members of the Beach Boy, where he's sort of acting like there's a conspiracy going on. I mean, I've seen that in other films.
Well,
where he's like,
you have to keep in mind this is a true story.
I know it's a true story,
Yeah.
but many people use that as an excuse if a film doesn't do something original. I know it's based on a true story, but you can present it in a more interesting way.
I don't really agree with you here. I think that one major strength of the movie is that the scenes that showed his internal struggles and like his
internal
paranoia.
struggles. Yes,
and, like all these scenes where it shows that he's crazy.
But when he's in
really
full
well done, I think.
Crazy swing, it was more effective when it was showing effects, but when it was full on crazy, like there was only really that pool scene where it was full on crazy, and it didn't work for me. But with like where he's getting to crazy, those worked a lot. But then when he went full on crazy, it was sort of like not really
but
to watch. The 80s part of the film followed more Elizabeth Banks' character.
Yeah, Elizabeth Banks' character.
It was sort of her story in the 80s.
And Elizabeth Banks usually annoys me as an actress, but here she was, let's say, pretty
good. I mean,
she succeeds in this role.
You can tell her confusion about what's going on with Paul Giamatti's character.
In terms of acting, everybody's really good. I think the best is definitely Paul Dano. I think Paul
Giamatti was very good in showing
Brian Wilson
his obsession with Brian
Paul
Wilson.
Paul Giamatti is an amazing actor. He's always incredible.
But the way it showed his obsession with the character was very good, because at first you're just kind of like, what is this guy doing here? Why is he here? But you get little hints.
Yes.
And the first scene where you see him go crazy, that is a very effective scene because it shows that he might be even crazier than is actually crazy.
Yeah. The only thing is that my problem is that Paul Giamatti, for me, the film tried to present him as being the bad guy, right? And for me, I got that, but I didn't really feel that he was the bad guy. He was just such a lovable guy.
How can you say that after his final scene?
Because I don't know. It's just
his final scene.
Because Paul Giamatti.
Probably.
I don't know. I didn't feel that he was evil or anything.
His final scene is intense.
I didn't see him as a monster.
I saw him. Well, I never saw him as a monster because he's not showing him as a monster. Or an evil guy because there's no such real thing as good or evil. He's just
of course, but just
a very confused and angry man. And I think that is shown well in the film.
I don't really agree with you. I think that the title Love and Mercy doesn't really fit for the movie kind of at all. Also, cinematically, there were some interesting shots in the film in terms of dollying and revealing certain characters. Mostly all of the aspects of this film were really good. Like the acting, the cinematography, the editing, the way they showed Brian Wilson's craziness through the editing and the cinematography. I thought that really worked. That was really effective. But just like how the story just concentrated on Brian Wilson and didn't really have a particular mood, that didn't make the film really stand out for me. But I was really impressed. I thought that it was really powerful. It was really depressing. I really felt sorry for Brian Wilson.
I felt sorry for him as well, but there were only a few scenes that I thought were really powerful in the film.
I thought through the acting of Paul Dano and John Cusack, we really felt sorry for the guy.
As a filmmaking way, I just thought it's a biopic. Mm-hmm. I didn't know.
I actually really enjoyed it in terms of a film. It's just that in terms of the actual writing, it could have had more material and substance of just more cinema.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think so too. Mm-hmm. What would you give the film?
I'd give the film 7 out of 10. Yeah, you?
I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I mean, the acting was really good, but there was nothing in the film that made me go simply just wow.
So yeah, if you guys like the Beach Boys, or if you're interested in Brian Wilson, or if you're interested in just a really powerful drama, I think watch this movie. Or if you like John Cusack or Paul Dano, they're excellent in this movie.
Watch this film.
Especially Paul Dano. He's a great actor. Paul Giamatti, also very good.
Very good. He was very good as well.
Watch this movie. It's really good. It is really good. Just some things, are not fruitful enough. Thank you for watching our episode of Blumensev Film Talk. Please like and subscribe if you want to hear more and be updated when new film reviews come out. Thank you very much for watching.
Bye.